Hello. Uh, Hello, and welcome to The Latest in Gaming, my gaming news show where I go over some of the latest news in the video game world. I'll read some articles, give my opinions, and lots of other fun junk like that. Today's stories include the Switch 2 is likely going to be the biggest console launch ever. Sydney Sweeney is going to be in a split fiction movie. Switch 2 scalpers suck, and they're getting pwned. The Fortnite Star Wars season was revealed, and more. If any of that sounds interesting, stick around. And if you're feeling generous, why not help a brother out and hit that subscribe button or like button? Hell, why not both? Did you like my little rigmarole there? Fuck, I meant to be recording that. That's fine. Um, Started recording now. Yeah, so if you're new, as in likely because you would be because I don't really have many subs right now, but if you're new, um, I'm started this series recently where I'm going over some gaming news. This week I did it every day, Monday to Friday. Next week I think I'm going to start doing just like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But yeah, this is something I kind of plan to stick with for a little while at least. I'm really enjoying doing it, and it's a good outlet to chat about video games, which I love to do. So um, yeah, why not? Let's just get right into it, you know? Let me turn this up a little bit. How does that sound? Hello, 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 hello. Sorry, always got some technical difficulties to work out. So I'll switch over to this here. Oof, I am not perfect. Okay, excuse me. Apologies. Okay. So, first story here, the Nintendo Switch 2 is likely going to be the biggest console launch ever. And by likely, I mean like it's going to be, like almost definitely. So, this story comes from Jordan Midler at Video Games Chronicle. Nintendo Switch 2 will be the biggest console launch in history, analyst predicts. PS4 and PS5 are tied for the biggest console launches ever currently. Um, Previously, analysts had predicted that Nintendo will likely produce between 6 and 8 million units of the console by the time of the June launch. Now, an analyst has claimed that the console's incredibly popular pre order campaign in Japan may point to the Nintendo Switch 2 enjoying the biggest console launch in history. As Japan accounts for a third of the global Switch, as a sorry, as Japan accounts for a third of the global Switch installation base, it implies 6.6 million pre orders globally, said Pelham Smithers of Japan focused equity research house Pelham Smithers Associates. This is via Bloomberg. At the time of writing, the two biggest console launches in history both belong to Sony, with the PS4 and the PS5 tied at a reported 4.5 million units during their first 2 months on the market. Let me read that again. With the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 tied at a reported 4.5 million units during their first 2 months on the market. It's worth noting that the PlayStation 5 faced constant stock issues during its first year, meaning that the PS5 would likely eclipse the PS4 if stock had been available. Earlier this week, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa warned that a significant number of players in Japan will miss out on the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders after 2.2 million applied for its pre-order lottery. Pre-orders for the console opened in the US this week, with players reporting constant issues with attempting to pre-order the console online. Pre-orders in the UK and Europe went live earlier this month following Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Yeah, so don't really need to read the rest here. Yeah, no, this is crazy. Not very surprising, obviously. Nintendo Switch 2 was such like a slam dunk guaranteed success, but wow, this is crazy. I wonder what percentage of these pre-orders will be scalpers, um and if they're making 6 to 8 million units for launch, right? And they're only going to have a predicted 6.6 million, sold, I guess, would that mean that there would be a surplus of ones that aren't sold for launch? Like, will they have more than enough needed? If so, I hope that's the case, because then, yeah, scalpers are going to have a tough time trying to sell their insanely expensive, overpriced consoles. Um, yeah, I talked a little bit about this yesterday, and it's just wow, it's really crazy to see, but it's not it's not very surprising. I don't know if I really have a whole lot to say on this now that I talked about it yesterday. Although, so PS5, that was one that I did also get on launch, so I was part of that biggest launch. I was part of that 4.5 mil, and this seems to be quite a step up. Like Nintendo really just friggin' they are killing it right now. Even though they do kind of suck right now with how overpriced everything is. But at least they make really good games, you know? Is there anything else I wanted to say on this? I guess not really. Like this, it's just I don't know if like exciting is the word. Like I am as a big Nintendo fan, like I'm quite excited, I guess, by this news. But does that just make me a loser? Maybe. um, yeah, no. Anything more here to talk about? Are you planning to get a Switch 2 for launch? Did you get one for launch? Did you have a tough time getting the pre-orders? I definitely did. I had a very hard time, but I was able to get it, so I am going to be part of this potential 6.6 million, which is interesting. Sorry, I'm testing out my mic. I had problems with recording yesterday. Well, if I can't think of anything else to say, I guess I'll just move on to the next thing. Sorry, I'm still very much in my infancy of making this show, but I figured, why not just kind of start it and fucking see what happens, What's the worst? What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so moving on to scalpers and how much they freaking suck. So eBay is already flooded with Switch 2 pre-orders at a ridiculous price. eBay is eBay is already flooded with Switch 2 pre-orders at ridiculous prices. This is from Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life. He who dares rotters. Rotters. What does rotters mean? Yeah, no, this is quite disappointing to see. I'm gonna go through just go through eBay and just show some of the stuff. It's so disappointing. I was seeing yesterday there's also a lot of people that are putting up fake listings just to kind of flood the market with with like these. Basically they just have like a picture of the Switch 2 and they're like, this is fake, but it's just to flood the market so people won't be able to find the real scalped Switches. So that's one good thing from it. But no, it's just ridiculous. However, I will say, if you technically right now, scalpers that are putting up Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders to like buy, they are technically breaking the terms of service on eBay. I saw like a post about this on Reddit or something, because they're advertising something that they can't get to you within the next 40 days or something like that. So because the Switch 2 doesn't come out for slightly more than 40 days, like 49 days, I think. So, yeah, no. So if you see it, you can straight up report it and get their listings taken down. So that's a great thing to hear. But yeah, so let's read through this a little bit here. Switch 2 pre-orders have finally gone live in North America following a short delay, and though it doesn't sound like everything went smooth sailing for many, it seems that most who wanted to secure a pre-order have managed to do so. Correct. Alas, like clockwork, another upcoming console release means that eBay is again flooded with listings at an inflated price. Thanks, Kotaku. I don't understand why they're saying thanks, Kotaku there. We're not just talking about a few and a few here and there either. There are loads of bloomin' things, most of which are priced at around $6.50 to $6.99. Some, however, are being flogged for as much as $8.50, and people are actually watching the listings. So these are American prices, I would assume, USD. So $6.50 USD is quite like here in Canada. The price is $700 for a Switch, so that would be cheap. No, that's a USD, so it would actually be like 1,000 here, or like a little bit more, a little bit less. It'd be freaking expensive, basically. You don't need to do this, folks. There will be plenty more pre-orders. Even if you don't manage to get one on day one, FOMO, fear of missing out, can be a powerful thing, but don't let it rob you of your hard-earned cash. If you really need to grab the console on day one, then we recommend keeping an eye on our pre-order guide. Okay, Nintendo Life with your pre-order guide. But yeah, no, this is disappointing. Do you want to see? Look at this shit. So I'll refresh just to... Yeah, no, $1,000, $2,000. This one comes with all the 8 games. That's kind of cool. 82% positive. 1,300, 1,000, 924. Just stupid. Like, fuck you, scalpers. Why you gotta do this shit, guys? That's so... Just let people freaking buy them, you know? I hope you all lose money. That's all I gotta say about that. However, there is some good news when it comes to hating on scalpers. This comes from Game Rant, Dalton Cooper. GameSpot has good news for fans that missed out on getting a Switch 2 pre-order. Video game retailer GameStop has said that it is canceling bot and duplicate orders of the Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders went live in the US on April 24th and caused a great deal of chaos online. As expected, millions of people rushed to their online retailer of choice in an attempt to secure a Switch 2 pre-order of their own, with varying degrees of success. Switch 2 pre-orders caused major headaches for Nintendo fans looking to claim the console for themselves. Websites for major retailers like Walmart, Target, and Best Buy ran into serious technical problems, overwhelmed by the sheer number of people trying to pre-order a Switch 2. Some lucky customers did manage to get the Switch 2 pre-orders online, though others gave up and decided to hedge their bets at GameStop, which is what I did. And it worked out. GameStop actually seemed to be like the best choice for a lot of people. Walmart, Target, and Best Buy Switch 2 pre-orders went live at 12 a.m. ET on April 24th, but GameStop waited until 11 a.m. ET. GameStop's site ran into similar problems as the other retailers. That is to say, it crashed and Switch 2 pre-orders seemingly sold out instantly. Those that went in person to their local GameStop stores likely had better luck, though they needed to get in line early if they wanted to guarantee themselves a console. At this point, all Switch 2 pre-orders from every retailer are effectively sold out, but there is still some hope. GameStop has announced plans to squash bot and duplicate orders. Quick thing I wanted to mention quickly. They say at this point, Switch 2 pre-orders from every retailer are effectively sold out. That is probably true. Yeah, no, I guess that is true now. But whenever I went to book to get mine, there was about 50 people at the store within like the couple hours that I was there, and they had like about 150. So they only sold about like a third. In the little bit that I was there, they probably sold the rest within the rest of the day. But like, it would have been easy to just walk in there at like probably lunchtime and just pick up a pre-order. Just, why not? But yeah, no, okay. God, so many freaking ads. I thought I'd turn my ads off, or my ad block on, but guess it doesn't catch everything. So this comes from a tweet from GameStop. They have this picture here. I'll just read it through. GameStop, power to the players. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders have sold out online. We will continue to squash bot and duplicate orders to reopen inventory. Pre-orders are still available in-store for the Nintendo Switch 2, the Nintendo Switch 2 Plus Mario Kart game bundle, games, and accessories. Check your local GameStop store for current inventory status and to stay tuned for more updates regarding Nintendo Switch 2. So that's exciting, GameStop, love them or hate them, They're not a very good company, I don't think, altogether, all things considered. But no, at least they're doing this one thing right. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I'm making noises and I'm trying to get away from the mic. um, as bots and duplicate orders are canceled, GameStop will reopen inventory. Effectively, this means that there is a chance that some Nintendo fans will have another chance to pre-order a Switch 2 from GameStop between now and the console's release date on June 5th. GameStop also encouraged customers to check with their local store to see if any Switch 2 pre-orders are available. Unfortunately, the Nintendo Switch 2 has struggled to keep up with the demand. Nintendo has already apologized to fans for not being able to issue enough Switch 2 purchase invitations to fans that signed up to buy a console directly from the company. I signed up too, and I never got a friggin' email about it. Needless to say, Switch 2 consoles are going to be pretty hard to find come launch and likely through the holiday season if previous console launches are any indication. Which is crazy because, as I said earlier, they're going to have like potentially 8 fucking million like ready to go, and yet it's still going to be hard. Like this, we are going to be seeing some unprecedented, never before seen numbers when it comes to Switch 2 sales, and it's kind of like it's exciting to see. You know, I love watching billion-dollar companies get billions of more dollars, especially when they love ripping off their fans. But no, it's I don't know, it's exciting. I like seeing things that I enjoy succeed. You know, like I Disney's a shitty company, but I loved seeing like Avengers Endgame because I loved that movie pass Avatar, which is also owned by Disney, but then Avatar passed it again. So, gosh, my hair is looking great, isn't it? This will no doubt be frustrating for fans who fail to get a pre-order who can't find a Switch 2 to buy on launch day. The Switch 2 is launching with 5 exclusive games. Okay, no, it's just... Yeah, no. Cool. Good stuff. So, fuck scalpers. That's what I have to say. And, moving on to the next hot topic. Sydney Sweeney is going to be in the film adaptation of Split Fiction. Okay, just let me close these here for a second. Oops. So, like being honest here. Well, let me read that. Okay, so this comes from Chris Scullion at Video Games Chronicle. Split Fiction is getting a film adaptation starring Sydney Sweeney and directed by Wicked's director. The screenwriters of Deadpool and Wolverine also working on the script. Just this like sentence alone annoys me so much. Like, it's just like Hollywood right now is so fucked. Like everything is just IP and like names. It's like, oh, the writers of Deadpool and Wolverine are on the script. It's directed by the person that did Wicked. Like, Split Fiction came out like a month ago or something like that. And I get that people like it, but how could they already have like a film adaptation ready to go? Like, it's so just like, here's a new popular IP. It's a new IP, nobody has the film rights yet. So let's just get right fucking on it. Like, it's so stupid that this is the state of Hollywood. I don't know a ton about Hollywood, but from one of the podcasts that I listen to, where I'm basically stealing my whole format from, they often have on Gary Whitta, who's a regular to Hollywood. He did some big movies, The Book of Eli. He wrote Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and I remember hearing him talk about this before it was announced, like Sydney Sweeney was being in it. So maybe he'll have some different opinions now that she's in the movie. But no, it's just like what everything is just IP. That's all they care about is like intellectual property. And it does make sense in some ways, because if you look at movies this year that are doing well, I think like by far the biggest movie this year was Captain America Brave New World. And like, I mean, I saw that movie. It wasn't very good. And then there's lots of other movies that came out this year that just like absolutely just did not perform well at all and barely made back their budget, if even that. So like I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. Like I don't really have much of a desire to see a Split Fiction movie. Maybe if I play the game, I will. But like, is that really that strong of an IP? Like I don't know. I just hope that it's passionate. The people behind it are passionate because it seems just like I can just picture like, oh, emails showing up, Deadpool Wolverine writers emails like, here, I got this movie for you. How much? I'll pay you $2 million for it. You want to write this script for this game that you probably never heard of? And then they're like, sure, I'll take that money. But yeah, so let's actually read this story a little bit here. Split Fiction is the latest video game to be earmarked for a motion picture adaptation. And okay, going back a little bit, I love video game movies. Like, I've seen all the Sonic movies in theater. I saw the Mario movie in theater. Didn't see Uncharted, but I'm loving The Last of Us show. Like, I love on-screen adaptations of my favorite games. But this game came out fucking 5 minutes ago. Like, if it was It Takes Two, I would allow that. Like, it's just the fact that it just came out. Like, give it some room to breathe before you start milking the IP to death. You know, or like find something else to. I guess they probably what probably happened is they were able to get the IP for like cheap. I don't know how this shit works, but that's my assumption is they got the intellectual property to Split Fiction pretty cheap because it's a new game. It hasn't really proved itself yet, but it does have an interesting story, I guess. So I'm not saying this movie's gonna be bad. I'm just saying like it feels so corporate and uninspired already, you know. So let's read now. Unless I have anything else to say. According to Variety, a live-action movie based on Hazelight Studios' co-op adventure game is now in the works and will star Sydney Sweeney. What? So, which one do we think she's going to be? This girl, or do we think she's going to be this girl, or another one, or both? The movie the movie will reportedly be directed by John M. Chu, who recently directed Wicked. What else has he done? John M. Chu. He's a director. He's done Wicked, Crazy Rich Asians, Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, Now You See Me Too. This is quite the catalog. This is the guy directing the Split Fiction movie. So let's yeah, no, this is Step Up 3D. Like, I mean, he's got some fucking bangers here, right? Like, he's got Crazy Rich Asians and Wicked, but also G.I. Joe Retaliation, In the Heights. Saw 5 minutes of that movie. Also haven't seen, I guess I haven't seen any of the movies that he's done. But no, he seems like a talented guy. You know, he's definitely got those ones that are just like he seems like a talented guy, but also considering Justin Bieber. Well, I guess no, if you're thinking about it, he really like ever since I guess like Now You See Me Too, I don't think I've seen that. Like I don't know like how inspired that I don't know. I'm not like a huge film buff guy, but I'm just saying like you can often tell when a director is, you know, cashing in a check and when they're very inspired with their movie. I don't know what that is with Now You See Me Too. Maybe somewhere in the middle. But I know Crazy Rich Asians was like one of the best movies that year. Everybody loved Wicked. That's seen it. But it seems like in the past, at least, he's taken some checks. But I feel like it has a likely possibility of being a really good movie. So Let's keep reading here. The script, meanwhile, is currently being worked on by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who are screenwriters on Deadpool. They were screenwriters on Deadpool. Split Fiction will be produced by Story Kitchen, formerly DJ2 Entertainment. Okay, well, now I gotta look up Story Kitchen. Story Kitchen movies. Dredge, the movie. King. Oh. I don't like this. Story Kid. So they just buy up IP. They're like, ooh, this is an interesting IP. Let's just buy it. They buy cheap intellectual property to make movies out of. I don't really know these guys, but I'm already kind of like, I don't like you very much. It was founded by Sonic the Hedgehog producer. See, look at this. They like the video game IPs. So did they do all projects? So they did the Sonic movies, or they produced them in some ways, and like they did the It Takes Two. What did they do on this? It's feature development. Is in feature development at Amazon Studios. It Take Two is the adventure. So what is fucking Story Kitchen? Is an innovative company founded by Sonic the Hedgehog producer. Tell me, what are you about here? Is a dynamic media company passionate about universe building and franchise architecture, specializing in the adaptation of video games and other non-traditional IP into film/TV. Launched in 2022, Sonic the Hedgehog producer and DJ2 Entertainment founder Dimitri Tu and former APA agent partner Mike Goldberg with the veteran production and development forefront connecting video game IP Hollywood. His visionary leadership has led to groundbreaking success like Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. After securing the film adaptation rights over a decade ago, he continues the driving force behind the Tomb Raider franchise, including the animated series which premiered, the upcoming Streets of Rage, as well as It Takes Two and the beloved ToeJam and Earl. I liked the Sonic movies, but I don't know. I guess this is just such a corporate company. They just buy. Maybe I'm being a bit too cynical here. I don't know. Oops, sorry. Like, seeing what they have produced so far, like maybe they're just big video game fans and they have to kind of take like a corporate approach to everything. Unannounced. What would unannounced be? Oh, okay. I can't go there. All products. So they would just, do they have expert? Like, I don't like. Yeah, they're just like buying up fucking IP. The numbers. So did they work on the game, or are they doing like a fucking movie? Tomb Raider live action, House of the Dead, Life is Strange. I love My Friend Pedro. Is there going to be a My Friend Pedro? Okay, so this is just, they work on games too, I guess. See, when your company is fucking from 8-bit games to 24 frames. Okay, so they're like, they own things. Is basically what this company does, is they own things. Interesting. I don't know. This kind of annoys me, to be honest, but Story Kitchen. The complimenting Johnson's trailblazing. So they worked on Nobody and John Wick. Haven't seen Violent Night, but I love John Wick. Nobody was a great movie. Phoebe Waller-Bridge has announced a film adaptation of Square Enix's live-action game Just Cause. See, like, I don't know. It just really rubs me the wrong way because it just seems so corporate, and I don't often love heavily corporate skewed companies, but maybe they're the good guys and they're just trying to find the right people to make films based on movies. But I don't know. I would rather someone. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I've finished this article yet. Let's keep reading it. The company previously worked on Sonic the Hedgehog movies and has been involved in the upcoming projects based on It Takes Two, Just Cause, Streets of Rage. Yeah, I already know all that stuff. Sorry, just a sec. Forgot I have a mute button on my microphone. Variety reports say it's yet to be confirmed which of the game's two protagonists, Zoe and Mia, will be played by Sweeney in the film version. Earlier this week, it was also announced that Sweeney is involved in an upcoming Outrun movie to be directed by Michael Bay. She won't be starring in that one, however, and will instead be taking on a producer's role in the Universal produced. Cool. Yeah, I guess I've kind of said all I have to say about this one. Kind of annoys me, but, don't know if it's really hurting anybody. But let's actually get into some fun stuff here. Fortnite. Let's go, Fortnite. So, new season of Fortnite starting next week, I think. May 2nd, maybe. This is quite exciting. As a not a very avid Fortnite player, not a big Fortnite guy, but I like Star Wars, and I got a Star Wars birthday. I won't say which day, but so I don't know. It's always nice to kind of have like that theme around my birthday. Usually they have some Star Wars stuff, and now they got like a full season going, so that's fun. So this is Matthew O'Dwyer at Game Rant. Fortnite reveals Chapter 6, Season 3 Battle Pass. I don't really need to read this because they just have like this picture here. So you got, these are all the Battle Pass skins, I guess. So you got just like, I assume this is probably like the level 1 skin that you get. Palpatine's there. He'll probably be like 100 or something. I like Grievous. It's kind of a cool skin too. And Poe Dameron's is neat. I didn't. Grievous is gonna be fun. I wonder what because you're gonna get to fly around the. Holy shit! Nintendo game. Huh. I did not realize I had a chat there. Lewis Stanley Germain said, "Did that show up on my screen?" Oh, it did. Huh. Nintendo GameCube card gave you the ability to undervalue their game. Online GameCube was locked to an account. Now, after finishing a game, most would resell them for less over and over. Now, what is this in reference to? Because I wasn't really talking about Nintendo game cards for the last little while. Unless you were commenting on like a previous stream. I don't know if it works like that. Well, Lewis, if you see this, let me know what... let's chat about that really quick, actually. So I'll go back to the Switch background here. So Nintendo game key card gave the ability to user to undervalue their game. Online GameCube was locked to an account. Now, after finishing a game, most would resell them for less over and over. So they're saying like you can't really resell the games with the new game key cards. I don't think that's how it works. I remember that people being worried about that. Like the game key cards, it's still a cartridge. I'm pretty sure that you put into the system, and then just works as like a key to get into it. But then you download it off the internet, but you still need to put the card in to download the game, and then if you take it out, you can't play it. And if you put it into another Switch, you can download it again from the internet. Like there's no limit to the amount of times you can download it from the internet. I don't think. Like it just the card. It's basically how like buying and selling games works with other consoles. Like my PS5 games, they don't. The whole game isn't on the disc. It's on the it's in the internet, and then you just do that, and you so sorry, I'm just curious. I'm going to go back a little bit. Sorry, I've never gotten a chatter before. I'm just kind of excited. I want to see when it was said. Just a minute. I'm going to go back. Let me just... Oops. Going back. It was said while I was doing... Okay, I guess I did notice it pretty quickly. Doing some investigative journalism here, but well, Lewis, congratulations, man! You're my first ever chatter. Sorry, I just small streamer things, I guess. I don't know. That was kind of funny. Let's go back to Fortnite, I guess. Just want to talk here about the new skins. So I think Mace Windu and some other things are just going to be like purchasable, but it seems like Darth Jar Jar is going to be part of the season. I'm excited to. They have like these Star Destroyers above the map. I'm hoping that you can like hop on those. I don't know. I'm not like a big Fortnite guy, but I'm definitely going to play it, so it's kind of exciting. Next, I kind of wanted to move on to Claire Obscure. So it's a new game that just came out in the last couple days, I believe. Yeah, April 24th. Came out yesterday. And this one is doing insanely well. At least critics-wise. I don't know how it's doing sales-wise. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know how it's doing sales-wise, but it's kind of cool to see that because this is a smaller team, so it's exciting to see them it doing so well critically. Like 0 negative review scores so far. I pulled up here GameSpot's review. They gave it a 9 out of 10, I think. Sorry, I hate when people do this. Just scroll to the end. Yeah, they gave it a 9 out of 10 and say that tells an emotionally engaging story with a cast of compelling characters, reimagines active turn-based combat with an action game slant. Each party member is distinct and their skills synergize in thrilling ways. Includes many memorable boss fights built on unique mechanics. The world is visually arresting and varied. The bad? Traversal isn't particularly interesting, and a couple of quality of life aspects could be improved. So, one thing about this game that I will say, very negative thing about this game. Why is the name so fucking bad? Claire Obscure Expedition 33, like, just, I don't know. Just call it Expedition 33. That's a little bit better. Why do you need Claire? Like, 2 words that, like, is that a name? Like, it's quite the obscure name, if you will. But yeah, no, just weird name. Don't know a lot about it. I'm not a big like RPG guy personally, but it is cool to see this one doing so well. It's on Xbox Game Pass, I'm pretty sure, if you have that, and it's cheaper than like normal game. Like it's not $60. I think it's like 40 or something like that, American, anyways. So that's cool. Yeah, no, I didn't really have a lot to say on the game. Okay, so I have one last story to talk about, unless there are any more chatters that pop in and decide to talk about something. Yeah, I'll be honest, Lewis, if you come back, I'm quite confused on why you said this, as I wasn't really talking about game key cards. Maybe just seen the title of the stream? I don't know. But yeah, so I seen Hitman had there's a pre-order trailer for it being on the Switch 2. I think it's coming on the Switch 2 June 5th. Yeah, June 5th for 60 American, so fucking full price, which is awesome. Love that. I'm definitely not going to get it because I have it on PS5 and I've got a shit ton of hours on there. But yeah, no, this story comes from Liam Doolin at Nintendo Life. Hitman's Switch 2 pre-order trailer shows off Mario-inspired outfits and goodies. Luigi, too. So I thought I would just do a little trailer react here because, I don't know, it looks... I saw the first couple seconds and it looks really funny, so... does this have good volume? Yes. Too loud, actually. Oh. Sorry. Oh, there's one of them. There we go. The Cerise suit. I love the mustache, man. It's so funny. The golden wrench. The red mushroom. The Fire 47 suit. I love that. So fucking bright. Like, why? So stupid. Oh my god. Signature edition. No, that's a... I just thought that was kind of a funny thing to show to kind of end off stream here. But I'll read through this a little bit. In case you missed it, the talented team at IO Interactive is bringing Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition to the Switch 2. The team has today released a new look at this particular version of the game while also promoting some extra themed goodies Switch 2 owners can expect. Admittedly, this isn't the first time Mario has been referenced in the Hitman series. If you pre-order now, you'll receive some unique Mario-inspired items. This includes the Cerise suit, the Golden Wrench, and those other things it showed in the trailer. Apart from Hitman, which is releasing alongside the Switch 2, they're bringing 007. That's something exciting. The Hitman team is bringing James Bond. I will talk about that really quick, just because I want to. So that's one thing I'm a little worried about, actually, because when I think of 007, I kind of think of a tailored cinematic experience. But when I think of Hitman, I think of, choose your own way, figure things out on your own. So I wonder if those things are going to kind of clash when it comes to the development of this James Bond game. Because, I've played my fair share of James Bond games, as in I played GoldenEye a little bit on the N64. Sorry, and I played Quantum of Solace on the Wii. I actually played the fuck out of Quantum of Solace on the Wii. I loved that game. Because I didn't really have any shooter games. I wasn't really allowed to get them, so I had James Bond, and I fucking loved it. The multiplayer in that game was a lot of fun. They had some really good maps. I'll probably stream that at some point. I might not stream the Wii version. I might find the other version, but yeah, but no, this is I bet it'll be a great game, to be honest. IO Interactive is such a great development studio. So I'm just a little worried about that specifically, on if it's going to be more like cinematic, kind of like Uncharted vibes, or if you will have a big kind of open area. I hope it's third person, I will say, because I don't want to first person. I find most first person games to be kind of meh. Not actually, that's not true. I love a lot of first person games, but there's a lot of first person games I would much prefer be third person. Like that new Indiana Jones game. Why isn't that third person? And a lot of shooters like Doom. Love Doom. That's perfect first person game, but I just feel like there's a lot of first person games that would just be a lot better if they were third. But no, anyway, it's just me being me, talking shit. No, I think that's all I really had today for this latest episode of The Latest in Gaming. Let me bring it over to just me for a minute here. Do I not have my sub box on chat box? Oh, I guess it just doesn't, has to be a new chat. So if I go back to here, oh, it's gone. Oh no, my one chat is gone. Yeah, okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, no, that was, so I did a full week of these, videos, or I guess live streams, sorry. And, no, I'm definitely really enjoying doing them. If you're watching this later, I plan to continue up with this, live streaming, but, I'm definitely not going to do it daily. Like, I'll probably do it every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because there's not, like, some days there's just really not much news. Like, I basically talked about this Switch 2 stuff yesterday, but there was just a lot more articles on it, so I figured I would kind of cover it more in depth today. That's why I didn't talk about it for very long. And I ended up finding some good stuff to talk about, like that, like the stuff about the Split Fiction movie. But no, yeah, I think this format is working well for me. And if you've noticed, if you found the channel through my shorts, that's what I've been doing as well. I'm streaming it every day, and then I'm trying to get a good clip from the stream. I know I'm playing that like content game, but I'm enjoying doing it. I love editing videos, so making a quick video every a couple days is fun to do. I'm still making. If you've seen some of my other videos, I'm still planning to make more like bigger. Oh, dog's barking downstairs. Hopefully that doesn't sound too loud. Definitely plan to do some bigger videos. I've got one planned for around when the Switch 2 comes out, so you probably know what the topic of that one's going to be, or at least the related idea of the topic. Sorry, I'll hop off. I guess that's my curtain call is my fucking dog barking downstairs. But yeah, no, thanks for watching. If anybody comes to watch this later, Lewis, if you come back, Lewis Stanley Germain, if you want to talk to me about this Nintendo game keycard, I would be happy to chat about it, because I don't fully understand where you're coming there from your chat. But yeah, no, thanks for watching. I'm gonna throw it over to my BRB screen because I like to listen to it, and then I'm gonna hop off. So yeah, no, I'll be back next week. Bye bye.